Hello, dear friends. It's been a weird couple of weeks, and we're going to talk about it. Hi, friends. This is Bethany Jennings, and you're listening to We Should Talk. It's a podcast where we talk about anything and everything to encourage, equip, and empower you to be a decent human. Let's talk. Before we dive right in, there's some stuff that some people want to tell you, so we'll be right back. So, as before mentioned, we're going to discuss just the last couple of weeks in my life. Actually, probably the last 3 weeks in my life. So this is kind of a life update, but also an explanation as to the absence of a couple of episodes in the last 3 weeks. So, start at the beginning, a very good place to start. On Mother's Day, I was honored to speak at our home church, and the Lord did some really great things that day. And then everything just got kind of weird. In the office before speaking, Silas, the baby I'm currently pregnant with, was moving a lot. And to the point that I couldn't I couldn't move for a second. And then when he got done moving, it was really extreme. When he got done moving, I was like, oh no, I gotta go potty right now. If you've ever been pregnant, you know the feeling. Well, up to that point, Silas was breech. I think that was the moment that Silas turned. And so I spoke with great worship service or whatever. I spoke. The Lord did what he does. And when I got done speaking, I was extremely I was in a lot of pain. And I up to that point had been leading worship and working with the worship department and worshiping in service, and I had not been in that much pain up to that point. So I was like, this is really, really wild. Everything on my body hurt. So I was, as nice and friendly as I could be to the people around me. And I told David, I was like, I just looked at him. It was after service, and I said, look, babe, I'm really hurting. I'm just going to go to the car. And he was like, all right, I'll meet you out there. So by the time we left the church until we got to where we were having lunch at my sister-in-law's house, at Pastor Ben and Sister Christy's house. By the time we got there, I was in fever, chills, teeth chattering, body shaking, which, trust me, having chills and being cold, you think I would welcome, because I have been sweating pretty much this entire pregnancy. But not so much. It was, I was so cold, it made me hurt even worse. And so finally, I told Mom, I said, hey, I'm going to go lay down. I let David know I'm going to go lay down. They have the guest bedroom there. So I'm just going to go lay down a second and try to get warm. Just, look out for Onyx. So I did lay down. Well, the minute I laid down, I was freezing again, shaking all over, teeth chattering again, yet some more. And started actually having some pretty intense contractions. I rested a little bit. I ate something I hadn't really eaten that day, which I am fully aware is not helpful to the situation. Save the lecture. So I tried to eat a little bit, but it was just making me nauseous. So I rested, I don't know, not even an hour. I tried to lay there and go to sleep, and it didn't actually happen. And then when I just told Mom, I'm just going to get up. We'll just go up to your house. I don't want to I hate to be sick and around people at the same time. I hate to not feel well and be around people because I don't like any extra attention. I don't want, it's not that I care if people know that I'm weak or human, whatever, I'm very much human. It's just that I don't want people looking at me and giving me extra attention. And maybe that's a character issue that I need to work on. I don't know. But it just makes me uncomfortable. I don't want any unnecessary sympathy, I guess. I'm not sure. So I'd rather just be by myself or with, Mom and or David, who are very good at taking care of me when I don't feel well. So, I tried to eat something else and it didn't work. I got sick some more. So I went on up to Mom's house. But when I got out of the bed at Ben and Christy's house, my legs were hurting so bad. Oh my goodness, my legs were hurting so bad. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It was like a bruise, but a Charlie horse. But I couldn't hardly walk. So I went on to Mom and Dad's house, sat in a recliner and tried to rest there. And still, it hurt to get up. It hurt to move. It hurt to do anything. So I was there for a second. Onyx was playing at their house. He needed that time. So eventually, Dave and I got home, and I just went straight to bed. I was like, "I'm sorry, babe. I know I've been sleeping on and off today, but like I gotta go to bed." He goes, "No, go to bed." So I did. When I woke up the next morning, my left leg was red from the knee down. And it still hurt very, very bad, like in my upper inner thigh and behind my knee. So I called my doctor's phone nurse, is what my doctor's office calls it, the phone nurse, and explained to her what was happening for my baby doctor. And she said, "You need to go to the ER immediately. This could be one of two things. It could be infection in your leg, which is dangerous. It could get in your bloodstream and affect the baby. Or it could be a blood clot, which is also dangerous to you and the baby. Could be fatal." So, of course, David and I got ready. Mom and Dad came and got Onyx, and David and I went to the ER. So this was the Monday after Mother's Day. Now, that Monday, you guys were supposed to get an episode of an interview or a quality conversation, really, between me and Mom for Mother's Day. Well, it's kind of hard to do an interview when your leg's falling off and you're in the ER. So you guys didn't get that episode. I'm very sorry. And I was going to do it like beforehand, and I was prepping for Mother's Day. Just life happens, guys. So my apologies that you did not get that episode, but it'll come when it needs to come. Well, I get through that week. We're in the ER. Come to find out, it's not a blood clot. They did like the ultrasound thing on your lymph nodes and all that on my leg, and not a blood clot. I felt like they were going to rip my leg off, though, when they were doing the ultrasound. That lady was digging in, like, in the most sore places of my leg, where all the lymph nodes are. Just digging in. She did what she had to do, and she was apologizing, but, and ERs do not get in a hurry. So we're just sitting there for, some hours wondering, do I have a blood clot? Could this blood clot break loose at any point and kill me or my child? Eventually they came out and they were like, "We're getting you a room. We just want you to know it's not a blood clot, so rest easy. It is infection." I'm like, okay, cool. I'm glad it's not a blood clot. Not pumped about the infection. It still hurts to walk at this point. So I'm in a wheelchair up and down, in ER in the hospital. So we get through that. They tell me it's an infection called cellulitis. And I don't know, some of you may have heard of it. It has nothing to actually do with cellulite. It's not like if you have cellulite on your leg, you're going to get cellulitis. No. Though, I guess I probably would be a candidate if that were the case. That's not what it's about, though. It's not about cellulite. It's about infection in the cells. And so they said what most likely happened is when my feet and ankles were swelling, which they have a lot this pregnancy, there was probably a break in my skin and some form of bacteria got in and set up infection in my leg. And because my body is so busy sending all of my immunities to the baby, it didn't have what it needed to fight off the infection. And so I got an infection. So I was dealing with that, and my leg is healing up at this point. But they gave me antibiotics, and so I took those, and that helped. And it had to be like a baby safe antibiotic. It was a crazy antibiotic, friends. Like, I'm reading this label, and it's like, take lots of water, drink with lots of water, take lots of water. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll drink lots of water. And then it said, it listed some side effects, and then it said, do not lay down for 10 minutes after taking this antibiotic. Now, mind you, this antibiotic is supposed to be pregnancy safe. I felt not safe. Whether I was pregnant or not, I did not feel safe with an antibiotic that wouldn't let you lay down for 10 minutes. But we made it through. We made it. My leg ended up like knee to ankle, all the way around, covered in blisters, very hot, extremely swollen. And so as I took the antibiotics and I've tried to keep my leg elevated and blah, the infection has gone away. It's subsiding, but the swelling is still there. So it is still painful to walk, but not because of the lymph nodes that were inflamed. It's painful to walk because my tissue in my leg is bruised from all of the swelling. And it's just my left leg. Like, my right leg looks great right now. It's my ankle and my foot are probably the smallest they've been this whole pregnancy because I've been off my feet. I've actually not been walking around working and doing things. But my left leg, yeah, it looks like a balloon. I told Mom, I said, I feel like, you know those videos with the watermelon that they put a rubber band around to see how many it takes before it explodes? That's what my foot feels like. And let me tell you, it is not pleasant. So throughout this, I'm going to the baby doctor and getting checkups and all this stuff, making sure the baby's healthy. And they're like, by the way, the baby has turned. So this last week we found out the baby had officially turned. And then they said I said, well, I've been prepping for getting ready for Pentecost Sunday concert. And so the doctor I saw, he was like, well, you need to be 100% off your feet. You need to be taking care of yourself. I said, well, I'm going to get through Pentecost Sunday and then I'm done. And he's like, what's this Sunday? Now, this is not my normal doctor. My normal doctor was out of town. He's like, what's this Sunday? I said, well, it's Pentecost Sunday and we're Pentecostal. So, we're going to celebrate. And he's like, well, what do you mean? And so this is a guy he doesn't know. My doctor knows me. The doctor that, worked with me when I was pregnant with Onyx and has worked with me through this pregnancy with Silas and the pregnancy that we lost last June. He knows our lifestyle. He knows we travel. He knows we're ministers. He knows all those things. This guy who was filling in for him, he don't know me from Adam or Eve. And so he was like, what are you talking about? I said, well, we're the worship director. I was like trying to explain to him without being one of those people who's like, well, my husband and I are ministers. Those people that nobody likes. And so I was trying not to be that person. And then I was like, we're prepping for like a concert, like a worship night. And he goes, that's your husband's problem now. Like, he was a very sweet doctor up to that point. He's like, that's your husband's problem now. Your job's to take care of yourself because we need a good baby out of you. And we're not getting a good baby unless we have a good mom. I was like, okay. And so I was trying to defend myself here. I'm like, well, all of my rehearsal time, I'm sitting, I've got my foot elevated. He's like, that is nothing. It is absolutely nothing for you. It actually makes it worse. And I was like, oh. He explained the way I was sitting and the way my uterus would be sitting. It's on an artery. And then when I put my leg up, it restricts circulation even more. He's like, the only thing that's going to help you is laying on your left side as much as possible. Okay. And there really is science behind it. So I've been trying, friends. Probably not succeeding as much as I should, but trying. But we made it through Pentecost Sunday. Woo woo. I did not lead one song, not one. And it felt super weird and kind of sad. But we have been very blessed with singers and worship leaders in our church who really just step up and let the Lord use them. We have an intern here right now who is just absolutely killing the game. The timing could not be more perfect. The Lord knows what he's doing. So we had a really great move of God on Pentecost Sunday. Miracles, healings. It was wonderful. So that Monday, you guys got an episode. I don't remember what it was, but you guys got it was the one I had already pre-programmed in. This past Monday, you also did not get an episode because once again, your girl was so pregnant. I just keep being so pregnant and I can't. I was dealing with my toddler and dealing with David traveling in and out and dealing with mom stuff. So it's been a weird couple of weeks. I've had more doctor's visits than normal, trips to the ER. David's wrapping up his last few travel engagements. And, it's getting increasingly difficult to breathe, much less chase my toddler and try to breathe. And trying to keep my foot up, and. But you know what? I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed to have this pregnancy, to have my very active and healthy toddler, to have a husband who travels in ministry, to have a church who is doing things for the kingdom and reaching this community. I'm so blessed to have the people in my life that I have that help me in all of these areas. And one thing that I have found through this time is the return on investment to the kingdom is for real. There have been people here in our home church that David and I have been working with for a while, through wisdom and strength of the Lord, to build them up, not just as Christians, though that is the top priority, but to build them up as contributors to the kingdom. And we are seeing them contribute now in ways that they've previously not had to step up and contribute in. So, there are worship leaders, there are musicians, there are people that work with our evangelism team that we oversee. And we've tried to pour into these people and help them and train them and in every facet that we deal with in our church. We're very involved in our home church. I know a lot of times people will see us traveling and they're like, oh, they just show up and sing things. They just show up and speak at places. And we are so blessed to be able to do that. But there's like this whole other life that a lot of people don't see, in which we are constantly working on the home front. And again, not as a bragging point, but we're called to our home front just as much as we're called to the evangelist field, It's all the kingdom. It's all furthering the kingdom. And I do think sometimes we can become imbalanced as Christians, especially in ministry, when we're like, no, I got to go travel to be in ministry. I have to go spread the gospel. Well, the gospel started being spread on their home front in scripture, if you think about it. And if you can't spread the gospel on the home front, then you can't spread it into the ends of the earth, right? Right? In all those places. What does the scripture say about in Jerusalem and then in Samaria and then? But you have to start at your home front if you're going to spread the gospel. The Lord can't trust you to be traveling, spreading the gospel if you can't even do it on your home front. So anyways, the Lord's been helping us to work with and train people, and He's been bringing in people and raising up people that are kingdom contributors. And it has helped take some of the load off of me and David. And seeing that return on our investment has been such a blessing. I'm so thankful for the people we get to work with on the daily here in Little Old Silsby, Texas. So, as I said before, it's been a crazy couple of weeks. My due date is June 20th. It is currently June the 3rd as I am recording this. So I have about 17 days before Silas Maximus Jennings is supposed to be here. And I am feeling like I may or may not make it all 17 days. But the Lord has His hand on us, and we are very well taken care of. David has one more trip, and he'll be back home. And he'll be staying home until after the baby gets here. It's just different when he's not here. I absolutely love that he gets to travel and do ministry, but it's just different when he's not home. It's different when I don't get to travel with him too. I do miss some of that, but my body can't handle it. So, this will be my last episode until after Silas arrives. If you would like to, feel free to reach out to me here on the through the communication of the podcast or on Instagram or whatever, and tell me some things you would like to hear in the next season's podcast, and we'll see what we can't work out. Let me know what your favorite episode was of this season, how it spoke to you, how it affected you, because I like to know that I'm not just rambling, that you guys are actually getting something out of this. And a lot of times I get stuff from you guys, and it's so encouraging. But I do want to share with you things that you want and or need to hear. I do enjoy doing this podcast. Really, truly, I do. And I've actually been really blessed here recently to be on some other podcasts. I'm on Unashamedly You, I think is the name of it. And I'm on one, I was just on one with a friend named JC. And so I'll be posting about those. One of them's already out. I think one of them don't come out till like August or September. So I'm going to try to be back and talking to you guys by July or August. Probably August, since baby doesn't get here till June 20th. But I'll be recording things and thinking about things to record in the meantime when I'm not loving on my brand new baby and my toddler. So thank you guys so much for your patience and understanding that I am a mom first. A human mom that does not make her podcast her priority. But I'm thankful for your understanding, and I appreciate all the prayers going up for me and my little family. And I pray that you guys have a wonderful summer, and I'll see you when we get back. Well, that was fun. I'm glad you stuck around for the whole thing. And thank you for talking to me today. Y'all go like and follow and review and do all the podcast things that people do. And don't forget to be a good human.